Hi, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. And let's get to the story. And we're going to be talking again about our favorite stock. Now, I'm not going to always be talking about Humbl, but tonight I will, because I had some other interesting things that I wanted to get to investment wise, some other leverage ETFs. But tonight we're going to be talking about Humbl. So we had the effort by a number of people to have a war against the shorts and to cause a short squeeze. We ended today with Humbl on May 24, 91.5 cents. That's a increase. We're up 9.58%, which is certainly nice to be up rather than down, which we've had for way too many days. But I'm sure we're all, not going to be happy until we start getting back into the $3, $4, $5 level. Then we'll all be happy campers again. Now, I have a number of times said, go ahead and email me, and here's the email again. And thanks for doing that. And I get a lot of good feedback. Very little negativity. There's still a lot of positivity among other people. So tonight, one thing I wanted to do is open up the mailbox a little bit. And let's just look, and I kind of randomly picked these. Sometimes people are just writing to say thank you for the videos I do. But let's take a look at a couple that raise some issues that would be of interest to not only we investors, but also I think the Humbl management team. So here we say, I believe there is an unspoken fear of another reverse split to the common shares, which is a real issue. People are hoping for, I think he means uplisting, are hoping for uplisting, but fear how we'll get there. Also, no one wants to see another reverse split where only we are affected. So my question, especially since Mr. Foote is now active on Twitter, is, has anyone called him out to answer that question? The question of would there be a reverse split again? I think having Mr. Foote, who is a straight shooter, say flat out there would be no more reverse splits to common shares would quell a lot of the share price issues moving forward. Common doesn't have voting rights, so that fear will always be there, especially on the OTC, and that fear weighs down the stock, in my opinion. It would be great to have this addressed and put to bed. So that's something that I can't answer. I am just raising it, that this is a belief by this writer. And what I would say is, folks, if you think this is, if you agree with the writer, then why don't you post a comment? Say if you think that is a fear that's holding down the stock price, and is it a fear of yours? So that's one thing. Now, let's bring up another issue here. Why are 90% of the merchants on the app, is what he's talking about, on the Discover not yet accepting payments? Also, I have called a few merchants in my area of Fargo, North Dakota, and they didn't even know what Humbl was. That doesn't surprise me, folks. You might remember when I had my son Thomas on, he was saying, no one even knows we're here. Obviously, on one hand, we get a lot of buzz, but because we tend to be active here on, let's call Humbl Nation, there's still a lot of people out there who have never heard of Humbl, and so that's another challenge. But let me read on. I've called a few merchants, and they didn't even know what Humbl was. It does cause a bit of concern when I find these things out. I've emailed investor relations with these questions, and they've not responded, is basically what he's saying. I was hoping you could answer the question for me and put my mind at ease, or if you felt it was important enough, you could pose that question on a future video and see if someone has that answer. So here's another thing we can get. Would be nice to get feedback either from someone in management of Humbl or any of the wise investors from Humbl Nation. Why are they not accepting, merchants not accepting payments, the majority of them that are on the app? And where did I leave off here? Future, and see if anyone has that answer. I also understand that building a business takes time, so I don't want to be pushy. I think the Humbl team could do a better job at communicating. Come on, give me. Okay. Sometimes I get stuck on things. Anyway, so that's a couple of letters. I think they bring up interesting points. I do think, as I said the other day on the communicating thing, I think that's true. I think Humbl needs to put out actual press releases and distribute those to the financial press. I know there's some businesses out there, so it's not like they have to be hiring team members, and I don't know that that's all that expensive. Now, let me move on. So again, if you want to write, by the way, folks, if you missed it, here's the address. You can write. You can say whatever you want to say. Sometimes I get tied up. As I mentioned the other day, I'm going to be probably a bit less busy once I get past the end of May because my day job tends to slow down a bit then. Now, the other thing that's interesting is we did have the launch, as you know, of Humbl Marketplace. I brought this up here, Clint Eastwood, the other day. They're selling photographs right now, but the collection of things to be sold is going to increase. Right now, it's with photography. And as we can see here with Mr. Eastwood on the description down here, and I'm doing this in case you haven't seen it already. It says, this image has never been released or published and was shot just after American Sniper premiered. So there was a lot of excitement surrounding the shoot. Schmaltz and Raskin built a small portrait studio on location at Mr. Eastwood's production studio in Burbank, California. There were also casting photos and outlines for the film still tacked to the wall. Between shots, he would walk over to the wall and point out certain characters and share stories about what it was like working with actors and what inspired their roles. The winning bid will also receive a physical 11 by 14 photograph signed by Schmaltz and Raskin. I think I hopefully said their name right. So that is what, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That is what is going on. Now let's look at the auction history, and you can see here going back to where did it start? It started down here. We started getting some bids. Looks like the first bid was on the 21st at $500, and then you see it went to $520, $650, and it jumps up. So I wanted to just bring this to your attention so that this is cool. You get to see the whole auction. And look where it is now. The current bid, $6,800. And you would have the NFT of this photograph. You would have the ownership of that. Now, what else do we have? We have Kim Kardashian. And this was, it says down here in the description, photography, Schmaltz Raskin. This image is an outtake from an ad campaign shoot and has never been released or published until now. The winning bid will also receive an 11 by 14 photograph signed by Schmaltz and Raskin. And then we go down, and I meant to go down. We have again the auction history. And look again, now this one is at $6,200. So, folks, this is going to be, you add that $6,000, and I misspoke, $6,020 to the $6,800 on Clint Eastwood. This is just two photos. And there are a handful in here. You can go to Market, Humbl Pay, Home, and you go up to the Marketplace, click on that, you go to NFT Gallery, and it brings that up. And there's those, and there's more. You click on the see the full collection, and there you go. And so I haven't gone through the entire thing yet to see just how all these bids are. But this is going to be going. It's going to be going. It's going to be growing. We're going to get past, I think they would always have photos, but they're going to have other things. And so the cool thing, folks, about Humbl is that, there are so many avenues here for making money. And these NFTs, as you know, I had to get my head wrapped around what these were early on. I kind of still equate this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but, when I was growing up, kids would collect baseball cards famously. Probably some still do, I guess. I never was one of those. But this is kind of a modern day version of collecting baseball cards, and you are the owner of the item that you end up, bidding on in the gallery. So Brian Foote had mentioned that another website was doing in the area of $350 million a month. I believe I'm quoting that right. So how big could this be? I have no idea. This could be huge. I don't expect us to be doing $350 million a month anytime soon, but boy, I'd be tickled pink if we could. What if in a year we're doing $5 million? What if we're doing $8 million? I mean, this is the kind of thing that the potential for making money on here, I think, is so huge that it is hard to quantify. And relative, one of the people speaking about the mailbox, and as I earlier had, one of the people wanted me to say something about the Hindenburg piece. I'm not going to say much right now, other than what I would say is these attack pieces, these negative pieces, maybe attack isn't unfair, but these negative analysis, where I think they missed the boat, is that nobody can put an accurate number on the amount of revenue that's going to be coming in. As I've said before, you look at Tickery with $100 billion a year, and if we got marketplace, I should say $100 billion a year, global marketplace in tickets, and if we got 1/2 of 1%, 1% would be $1 billion, 1/2 of 1% would be $500 million, right? So then you got the NFTs. Then you're going to have the peer-to-peer transactions. This is why Humbl remains such an amazing company to be following and investing in as we go along. And so, folks, I know we're all, rather upset about the stock price for, a lot of reasons. And one is that it's been shorted by so many people, and we'll see how the effort to kind of go against the shorts takes off. But, again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to go through these and give you some kind of feedback to the best of my knowledge. And as I did today with the mailbox, I'll do that periodically. I think it's interesting to share some of the letters. I'm not going to put up, if someone's just doing some venting in a real negative way, I won't put that up because that doesn't really serve us. I did put up here where it was polite, it was professional. I think Humbl team could do a better job communicating. That's the way. If you got something to say it like that. Don't be engaging. I'm sorry, I got an itch here. Don't be engaging in name calling. If you have questions that you can't get answered, we'll put them out here just like I did today. So you can email me, and again, I'll bring that up one last time. And I think, again, we can do the mailbox. Maybe I can do it. I don't know if I'll do it once a week, but maybe twice a month, something like that would be good. In the meantime, I'm excited about these NFTs. I had no idea what kind of money we would be looking at here. And frankly, because this is so new to me and I didn't know what to expect, I'm pretty surprised. I think the fact that they are bringing in this kind of money, where you got $6,800 here for Clint Eastwood, and you got 3 days to go. That's really cool. By the way, one person did say on one of the letters that they thought maybe they should put here how many people are bidding. But you know what? It seems like you can kind of tell down below here, or that you could put how many people are following that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But I do think it's pretty dang exciting that we're getting this. And it's, to me, just one more piece of information of how not only are we new, but that Brian Foote and the team keep building this out. And, you know, now I see more and more people going around without masks on. I went to the event the other night where I taped Candace, I'm dropping her last name, God. I'm sorry. Candace Owens. The point is there are 1,500 people there, and virtually no one was wearing a mask. So what I'm getting at is I want to see what Tickery does. I'm excited to see them too. What are their sales? And Brian said they did $1 million in sales in a 30-day period. So I hope they can keep that momentum going. And folks, anyway, I'll wrap up. I start to ramble here, and I apologize for that. But I think we got a number of exciting things going on. Let's see if we can keep the momentum going on the stock price. Obviously, we're not going to go up every day, but it's nice to have some green days. Certainly, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a month of stock trading where we had more green days than red days? That would be a nice change. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Keep optimistic. Don't get down. We're still new. We're growing. New services are coming out. And in the meantime, give me a holler, write, send those cards and letters in. And we'll see you tomorrow, folks. Hope you had a great weekend. Take care.